You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system for your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. Get addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, think you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation. Bring it to the table, but if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn you back and tell you sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hood Table one more again, y'all. Come on in, make sure you like and share the video. And of course, if you are new to the Hood Table, please subscribe. Please feel free to subscribe if you're not a subscriber as well. We already hit our 5K. We on the road to 10K. We ain't nowhere near 10K. But I'm speaking it into existence, okay? We done reached our 5K. We done reached a monumental space and time on the Hood Table, and I am so proud of us. I am so proud of you all, everybody who has contributed to the Hood Table, and all our supporters and subscribers and family and friends. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for always supporting the Hood Table. And tonight, you guys, we are going to review the SWU to the V. SWU to the V. I don't know what it is that you done to me, but it's caused me to act in such a crazy way. Whatever it is that you do when you do what you're doing, it's a feeling I want to stay. Y'all know the rest, child. Y'all know the rest, child. Woo! I am so excited about this TV show. Okay, SWU to the V. And of course, Xscape. You know, kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Party on down to the Xscape beat. Just kick it. Just kick it. Just kick it. Yes! I am so excited about this reality show that is on Bravo. And so far, we are, it just started. It just premiered last week. So we're only on season 1, episode 1. So if y'all have not checked it out yet, it is going to be spoilers through this review. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time. But yes, please check that out. The next show, episode 2, will be Sunday. It will be this Sunday again on Bravo. But if you miss it or if you don't have Bravo, you can watch it on Peacock. What's up, Mario? You said let the secrets out. Hold up. Hold on. What secrets you talking about? What secrets you talking about, Mario? Are you talking about secrets that pertains to SWU to the V and Xscape? But yes, come on in. If y'all watch the premiere, please feel free to drop down in the chat. Give me your thoughts on the show, your opinions on the show, or you said the sisters, the husband, still my. Oh yes, we gonna get to that, boo. We're gonna get all up into that. But for the people who don't know, like you gotta be like living on a rock for like the last 20 some years, 20, 30 some years, to not know who SWV is or who Xscape is. But Xscape, of course, we know is a from So So Def. Introduced them to the pre, and it went from there. And they made a lot of hits. They sold a lot of albums. Who was that? Candy and Tamika. They wrote for a lot of people. They just made millions. They just made millions of dollars. And of course, SWV. They have over like 30 million records. They have sold over 30 million records. If I was to actually say which group I like the best, it's a close call. It's a close tie. I mean, even when they did the verses, I was like, I wasn't rooting for one of them more than the other because I just love both of them. I was just sitting at home, during the CVD 19 like everybody else. Like, okay, make sure y'all sing this song. Make sure y'all sing this song. Sing this song. I want to hear this. I want to hear that. So, as far as those two groups are concerned, I like both of them a whole lot. SWV and Xscape, they are two of the groups that I've always said, why did they stop performing? Like, there's a whole bunch of groups, right, from back in the day. A whole bunch of groups that we're like, what happened? Where they at? What they doing? Where are they now? But both of these groups are definitely very talented, always have been talented, and they still are talented. You know how you see groups from back in the day, and then you see them in concert or you see them on a award show, and you be like, oh shit, they trash now. Nope. SWV and Xscape have always been able to stand the test of times through age, through drama, through fights, through confusion, and allegedly fraud and theft. But again, we're gonna get into it. I just want to start off with let's see. Okay. So the reason why Candy and Xscape, and I don't want to say that like she is like the head of Xscape, but the reason why Xscape first started, telling their story, doing reality shows, things like that, was because, as Candy said, some years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago, they had found out that somebody was trying to steal their story without their permission, without their knowledge. So that's how the group, got back together. They got back together. They started making reality shows. They started going on tours, worldwide tours. They were selling out tours, selling more albums. And then SWV was also touring. They do I think they said they do 75 shows a year, somewhere in that ballpark. And so their management team reached out to Xscape and was like, why don't y'all two groups sit together? Y'all were really big groups around that time. And why don't y'all get together and do a versus? Everybody else is doing a versus. All these other rappers and hip hop groups and R&B groups, soul groups. So they agreed. And again, during that versus, a lot of people said SWV, they took the man, they won, But me, I was just like, they both, I love them both. I hate to pit them up against each other, but I do love them both. Now, a lot of y'all might not remember, but SWV, I'm sorry, Xscape. When Xscape first came out, a lot of y'all might not know, but it was actually 5 members. It was actually 5 members, just like with just like with Destiny's Child. There was a member that got dropped off somewhere back in the day that a lot of people don't remember, and that's the same thing with Xscape. There was a 5th member, and that 5th member's name was Tamara Coggins Wynn. And she had did an interview because it was a lot of rumors and speculation upon why she originally left the group. But, and there are several different factors that took place. One of them was per Tiny. Tiny was actually the last person to join the group, by the way. It was the sisters. They introduced the sister, Tamika introduced Candy, to the group, and then they was with Tamara, and then Tiny was the last one in the group. But when it came to Tamara, Tiny said that Tamara just wasn't what the producers was looking for. I don't know if it was her voice, her sound, or whatever, but I guess it wasn't merging, or blending well with the rest of the ladies. And so when Tiny came along, it was like, okay, um, y'all gonna get dropped or y'all gonna make the necessary changes. So therefore, they ended up dropping Tamara and they kept Tiny. Now, as far as Tiny, as far as Tamara goes, she went on to live a pretty good life, it seems like. She ended up getting married. She's a realtor, she's an investor, she's an entrepreneur. She's also the CEO of her own construction company, which she works alongside with her husband, Gregory. And how she feels about the Xscape drama that happened back in the day, what she had to say was, if the people in the group didn't think enough to say, hey, we are a group, we are a family, we are one unit, then I don't want to be around you. Yes, that's what she had to say. Her words, and not mad. She said, okay, that's fine. I'll be fine. And I'm great now. And she said she went on to be great. She still supports the group. She still supports the sisters. As a matter of fact, she even was, one of the bridesmaids at Candy's wedding when she married Ty. So, she's still, pretty cool, I guess we can say, when it comes to, Xscape. But yes, a lot of people don't remember or don't recall there was actually 5 members to begin with, and then they ended up keeping Tiny. Now, back in the day, I really didn't think Tiny's voice was all that, but as time went on, I was like, okay, go Tiny with your little bitty self. She was really bringing it. When she had to when she had to lead songs, she was really bringing it. Because I was like, all the other girls have such strong powerhouse, such strong, beautiful voices. And then there was Tiny. But again, at first I was like, I wasn't really feeling her, but yeah, she grew on me. She started to grow on me throughout the years. Even, during the time when she was with T.I. and had all that drama and all that kind of, stuff going on with him, dealing with him in and out of jail, allegations of cheating, allegations of her cheating. It was like allegations all over. And now we know that recently they have been in the spotlight so many times over the last few years, including, having like uh people over their home and allegedly, getting them, on drugs or something like that and doing things with them. But we ain't gonna really get into all that. But Tiny did, talk a little bit in the first season about, the first episode about, being with T.I. or AKA Tip. She said it has really been a full job, like really a whole job within a job. Like, you got your career, you got your man T.I., you got all this drama surrounding that. Then you got your kids, and and the drama with the girls. So she was like, yes, it was, being married is just a full time, a whole job by itself. But I don't know actually. Well, I ain't even gonna say I don't know actually where or how good her and T.I. are right now. I really don't know. They haven't really been in the spotlight in a while. And I think maybe they're doing that on purpose. Like, maybe somebody got to them finally, got to them and was like, maybe y'all want to keep some of y'all business off of social media, for the sake of your family, the sake of your careers, things like that. But anywho, when it comes to SWV and Xscape, the first episode, we didn't hear a lot about drama or things that might have broken the groups up as far as SWV in the first episode. We heard that they had broke up. We heard that from Lily. It was basically Lily. When they was at the brunch and Tasha walked in. And it was always something about Tasha though. Even back in the day, I was like, I used to think that girl was so mean. I don't know why, or standoffish or something like that. I always thought that about her. And every time they have a reality show or something like that, I think that's what I relate back to. Was like I always felt like this weird vibe from Tasha. I don't know why, but she just seemed like somebody who's not really open to friendships and things like that. And I'm like, that was really confusing to me. And I don't understand why a lot of groups start off that way. Because even with SWV, they were saying, when we first met, Tosh was like, I didn't like them, they didn't like me, we didn't like each other. And I'm like, well, how does that work? When you form a group and you start off not liking each other, like how can you get past that? But I heard Lily say in this episode, you know what? All that other stuff, you have to grow up and you have to be like, okay, we out here to get this bag. That's what she was trying to tell Tasha this episode. We out here trying to get this bag. Y'all either gonna be about the bag or y'all ain't about to be about the bag. Because the thing is, both of those groups still are very, very talented. When they get on the stage, you still think back to the 1990s, the early 1990s, as far as like the sound. Now, they might not can get down like they used to. They might not be able to drop it hot like they used to, and all that kind of stuff. But as far as singing in their voices, SWV, Sisters with Voices, and Xscape, they still got it. They still got it. And that's what I appreciate and love about both of those two groups is they still got it. Because I hate when you go to these shows out here and they charge you an arm and a leg. Then you get to the show and it's like, hold up. Can we get a Milli Vanilli? Can we get somebody that at least sound like the group we're here to see? Like they sound like they've been smoking 10 packs of cigarettes a day or, been hooked on drugs for the last 10, 30 years. So I appreciate that they still sound really, really good. And hopefully, after this first episode, hopefully Tasha, mainly Tasha, took in, some of what Lily and what Xscape, what they were trying to tell her was basically like, you know what? We're all friends here. We're all friends. We're all sisters. We're family. But just like a regular family, sometimes you don't get along. Sometimes you don't get along. And when you really out here to make that money, you just sometimes got to put that stuff to the side and you just got to respect each other. And one thing that I really, really like that Lily said was, and I say this sometimes, I have said this plenty of times when it comes to females, we are so quick to forgive our man, a lover, a husband, a baby daddy. We are so willing to forgive them so much easier, so much faster than some of our sisters, our girl cousins, our girlfriends. We would give them chance after chance after chance, but when it comes to female relationships, we don't want to forgive each other. We don't want to forgive, and we don't want to forget. But again, when it comes to that man, we be like, he cheated on me 10, 11, 15 times, but I love him. I love him. We meant to be together. And y'all know I ain't lying. Lily ain't lying either. Okay. So hopefully Tasha did, take some of that information, to heart. Hopefully she did. But as far as Candy, Candy has said something about, Tasha, as far as, her not wanting to, I guess Tasha, she wasn't like feeling really excited. She's upset about some things going on in her personal life when it comes to her and her sister and other things. But the thing is that when it was the 20th anniversary for Death, Jermaine Dupri, when it was the 20th anniversary, Latasha had said back then to Candy, she said Candy owes it to the fans to reunite with Xscape. That was at the 20th anniversary. Okay? So now, now the coin has flipped. And now it was Latasha basically begging or hoping that Candy would join and she didn't. It ended up being Latasha and her sister Tamika at the 20th. No, of course, there was other people there. I mean, from Mariah Carey, Bow Wow, Jay Z, Usher, Jagged Edge, them franchise boys, the Brat, Monica, Chris Cross, Anthony Hamilton. Who else was there? Even Dondria was there, Pastor Troy, Little John and the East Side Boys, Ludacris, Young Jeezy. It was a full house. It was a lot of history made that day during the 20th anniversary for So Def. But T.I. and our girl Candy did not show up. So back then, Latasha was like, you know what, she owes it to the fans. The fans want to see us together. Now, it's Flip and it's Candy. And then who was like, okay, Latasha, we owe it to the fans, to do this tour, to go on tour with SWV and everything, put all our differences to the side, for a tour to make that bag, to make that money. Shoot, they be selling out crowds, no matter how long it's been since their last album. SWV and Xscape is two female groups that can definitely sell out a crowd. You can definitely count on them to sell out a crowd and put on a great show. To put on a really great show. I love seeing them at concerts, the award shows. I just love seeing both of those groups. So that was a little back information on Latasha, how she felt during the 20th anniversary. And it wasn't just her. Bow Wow and a lot of other people had went in on Candy and them like, how y'all not gonna show up for Jermaine Dupri, the situation. But again, you know what, Lily is like, you guys have to grow up. You guys have to grow up and you have to put differences to the side. And that's the thing, when you start these groups, and you start these groups and you spend so much time together, so much time on the road, so much time in the studio, and that becomes like your job. That becomes your job. So as the years progress and y'all making all this money, and then when y'all start feuding and beefing, it's like, okay, we ain't got no job no more. We ain't got no job no more. Don't nobody want to do this anymore. So that means other people have to go out and find other means of income. And I'm like, it's just like work, like a regular person's job. You go to work, you clock in, you clock out, you go home. You deal with your co-workers. You deal with your co-workers. You say good morning, how you doing? How you kid, whatever. If you say that much and you get to your seat or get to your position or whatever, and you do your job and you go home. And then when payday comes, you get that check and you pay all your doggone bills. So that's what they need to do. That's definitely what they need to do. But as far as Tamika, I know Mario in the chat was saying something about the money. Before we get to that, I just want to speak about the allegations first that Tamika had said about Candy. This is what, 2023. So this was around 2007. And Tamika had did a radio interview. Excuse me. And when asked about that interview, in the green room from the producers, she was like, I really don't want to talk about that. That's why y'all bringing up old shit, moving right along. But what had happened was, back in the day, in around 2007, Tamika had did an interview, and she basically dragged Candy. She was talking about Candy just basically been a whore, not a hoe, but a whore, like sleeping with all the men from So Def, even sleeping with Jermaine, even sleeping with his daddy. That's a lot of niggas. I mean, they say you ain't supposed to sleep where you eat where you shit. I don't believe in working with people I'm dating or dating people I'm working. I don't even want to date nobody that lives on the same block. nobody that goes to church with me, nobody that works with me, nobody like it most of the time never ends up well. But Candy did, deny all these allegations. She did deny all those allegations, and that was one of the reasons why she didn't want to participate in the 20th anniversary. Like, how? Okay, the 20th anniversary was like in 2013. And these allegations was in 2007. Yeah, it was 6 years ahead of that time, but still, like when Candy came into the group, Candy, we didn't see Candy on a lot of different shows, right? And she always seemed so friendly. Now, if you get on her bad side, oh yeah, Candy can get real mean and real good, right? But she always seems so open to meet people and so nice, always got a smile on her face. So I can believe that when she first joined this group, when she said it seemed like Tasha didn't like her, just from what I have seen over the years, regarding Tasha, I can believe it. She never thought Tasha liked her. She thought Tamika liked her, but when it comes to your sister, when it comes to siblings, it's just like with friends. If one person don't like this person, then sometimes a friend might treat that person different too. And that's probably how it was with the sisters too. So she didn't feel a lot of love, when it came from that situation. And she did speak on it. She did speak on the fact, why she didn't go to the anniversary. And she basically said, it was because I didn't feel a lot of love. I didn't feel like I was wanted, that I was needed, in the group. So, that's why I didn't go. So she did speak on that. Um, as far as that time frame though, that again was 2013. So that was what, 10 years ago? Looking at this episode that we just watched the other day, it does seem like Tiny and Candy both are in great spaces when it comes to the group. They're like, yeah, we're down. We ready to do this. Let's make money. I mean, Candy, first of all, Candy and Tiny have always been in the studio. They've always stayed in the studio. They done made music together, over the years. So they always, have that like, relationship with each other. They are actually really, really close, compared to Candy, being with Tasha now. Her and Tiny are the closest out of the group. They always been cool. They always been friends. They always looked out for each other. Um, as far as the last episode though, when it comes to Tamika, Tamika seems really open minded to going out on tour with SWV. Tasha, again, on the other hand, when she sat down at the table for the brunch or whatever, lunch, brunch, breakfast, whatever they was having, at Taj's, establishment. And I was trying to figure out what the hell kind of establishment was that, because it didn't look like a restaurant. I don't know if it's a event center or a social hall, or I don't know what. But if y'all know what type of establishment Taj has, please let me know, because I was trying to look that up. I'm like, okay, she's into some entrepreneurship. Go Taj, go Taj. But yes, what's up, Will? How you doing? Willie 3, what's up? Salute, hood table, listening, working. All right, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you guys please like and share. But yes, so as far as all the four ladies on the Xscape side, they're all seem very open minded to this tour, all except Tasha. Tasha. And again, I hope Lily, is able to instill some wisdom. Well, she was able to instill some wisdom in her, being like their older sister group. But again, I hope she takes that into consideration when she's making these decisions, because when you have great voices like these and you still have talents and people still love you, I can't remember which one of them said it, but one of them said we should be performing until we are old and can't perform no more. That's what one of them said. And child, if I had a great voice like them, I'd be doing that too. Like, I need to go to concert. I need to make some money. Shit, especially after the CBD-19 period where everybody was sitting at home, people collected unemployment and food stamps and all kind of other stuff. And now we can get back here and work again and make all the millions of dollars. Shit, you wouldn't have to tell me twice. I don't care if I had a situation going on with my sister, my mama, my husband, a group member, or whatever, including the fact that there are allegations that Tasha and her husband stole money from her sister. So let's get into that. Um, okay, now I'm gonna admit I haven't heard this before. I haven't heard this before. This is my first time hearing about this. I heard a lot of the other allegations. I heard all the allegations about Tiny and all the allegations about Candy over the years, and I never really heard anything about Tamika and Tasha, having some type of beef, the sisters, you know. But come to find out during this first episode, Tamika is really in her feelings regarding her sister and some monies that she claiming that her sister and her sister's husband stole. So Tasha, Tasha and her husband Rocky, she's been married to her husband Rocky for 27 years. How they met, Candy introduced them on a tour, and I thought that was so cute. I thought that was so cute. Like, she was with somebody else at the time, and Rocky, who used to be in the music industry working with R. Kelly, he walked up in her rehearsal and basically said to her boyfriend, I really like Tasha, and I'm not sleeping with her. We ain't doing nothing nasty. We ain't doing a nasty or nothing, but I really like her and I want her to be my girlfriend. And then he told Tasha's boyfriend at the time, you can leave now. I got this. I got her. You can go home. I don't know if he went home. I don't know if they got in a fight because Tasha didn't expand on that. She was just like, and it was history after that. Her and Rocky been together 27 years and they got, kids together and stuff. But Tamika is accusing her sister Tasha and her husband Rocky of stealing money. Now, allegedly, Tasha had received some money that it was some royalties, and it was supposed to go to Tamika, but for some reason it went to Latasha. Now, how that happened, I'm hoping they'll expand on that next episode, which again, the next episode is on Sunday. Hopefully they'll go deeper into that discussion because right now I'm looking at like, okay, if you were supposed to get paid for somebody and the check went to somebody else, how could they cash the check unless it was in their name? And on top of that, like if a bank was to send you a check and say somebody else cashed it, and you called the bank and said fraud has been committed, somebody else cashed that check, I didn't cash that check, they would do an investigation. And if they found out you weren't lying, they would reissue you another check, and then they would go after that other party and try to either sue them, get them locked up, get them arrested, taken to court, get their money back, whatever. Why wasn't any of that done? I don't know. That's what I need to know. That's what I need to know. Like, why haven't anything been done about this? And this happened how long ago? And if her sister really did steal her money, her sister couldn't pay her back within all this time. Her and her sister seems to be doing. Her sister and her sister's husband Rocky seem to be doing pretty good. They all got them big old houses down there. Rocky has a nice job. He does like security or whatever, intel, for New Edition and, other celebrities and whatnot. So I don't understand why Tamika couldn't have got her money back before now. To the point where she has to blast it out on, national TV, public television, reality show. Because that is something really, really, like, how some families are. They like, what happens in this house stays in the house. I'm sure their mama did not approve of Tamika bringing that up on the reality show. I'm pretty sure she did not. And Tasha probably didn't either. Okay? But as far as their mother goes, I can kind of feel where Tamika is coming from when she says her mother always takes Tasha's side. Her mother is biased. Her mother, Tasha's her favorite, things like that. Because her mother is basically like, y'all sisters, y'all just need to get along. Y'all just need to make up. Squash all this shit. Woo, 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 woo. But Tamika's like, why ain't you said nothing? You've been knowing she stole my money. She all these years since we've been little. You always take her side. Why won't you tell her to pay me my money back? Woo, 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 woo. Still, I'm hoping that in the next episode they go a little deeper, a little further into that situation, so we can know exactly what happened. How much was the royalties? How much was the check? Did they make it out to you and Tasha? Did they make it out to Tasha? Did the check say your name? We need some more details because these are some serious allegations. And Tasha was trying to deny it, and Tamika was like, "Hold up now, hold up now." Now I done kept people off of you. Even my best friends, my homegirl said I should take your ass to court and get your ass locked up. She said I can still call the cops. I can still press charges. It ain't too late. I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. Like, who can I run to? I was like, okay, all right. So yeah, I am looking forward to the next episode to find out a little bit more about that. About this money, this alleged scam, this alleged fraudulent behavior from Tasha. Now, Tasha looks like she's real bougie and real stuck up. Always got that from her. Real standoffish, not too friendly. But I never took her as a scam artist. I never took her as a thief, especially, to be stealing from your own family. And again, these are allegations. These are Tamika's words, not mine, okay? But the way the episode ended, Tamika and her sister Tasha, they was out in the middle of the street. Their mama was out there trying to break up the shit. Their mama, boy, she was about to go in. Them cameramen, the camera crew, the producers, they was about to get it. She was like, if y'all don't turn off these cameras and get the hell out of my house, turn the cameras off now. Turn them off, not now, but right now. Their mama was like, okay, she looked like she don't play, but they showed the internal cameras off when they was, when it started getting heated, and Tamika started getting really riled up about that money, about that alleged money that was stolen from her by her sister and her sister's husband. So again, I'm looking forward to finding out a little bit more about that shit next week, and hopefully, they'll get a little bit deeper also into the storylines with SWV, because again, it seemed like this first episode centered more or focused more around Xscape and their situation, which I can probably see why, because they have some things going on, with some beef going on with the sisters and things like that. But I am looking forward to next episode. Hopefully they'll delve right into maybe SWV and give us some more tea on them. Some more tea on them, because we didn't get that much from them this episode. We really did. They were more of being like I said earlier, like big sisters, or like I don't want to say like giving out motherly advice, but I'll just say giving out big sister advice, to these younger women within Xscape. So, they have a lot of knowledge. They've been around for a very long time. They came out before Xscape. So they done been through a lot. They done been through a lot. Like, they done broke up, got back together, broke up and got back together. But like Lily said, and like Taj was saying, it gets to the point where you get so old and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna grow up today and I'm about to get this bag. Yeah, we might not have got along. Yeah, 5 years ago you probably stole my red bottles, but today is today, and today we about to get paid. We're gonna make money for our family. So let's go and make this money. So yes. So like I said before, hopefully Tasha, she allowed herself to, take in all that advice from Lily. But this episode I thought was really good, to be the first episode to this new show. I think they kicked it off really good. I love both of these groups again, as I said before. I hope one day they'll both come here, to our little old town of Omaha, Nebraska, so I can go see both of those groups. That would just, boy, that would make my entire year if they were to like come through here, through the Midwest. I'm sure they probably come in close. Matter of fact, I should look up their schedule, but hell, you being that these shows are so recorded so early on, so far in advance, hell, they two are probably fucking over to actually, to be honest. But I'll look it up anyway. I'll find out. But that's about all I have on this first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, my little overview. It was some spoilers in here for people who didn't watch the show. But when you do watch the show, I want you guys to let me know, was Tasha dragging it out when she got that text from her sister Tamika? The text that said, okay, so when they was arguing, this is the last thing and I'm gonna wrap it up. When they were arguing at that event that they had a couple of years ago, it was in Vegas, and they had a they had a performance there in Vegas. And what had happened was a few of them were able to get inside their trailer, to get dressed and everything. A few of them were able to get in a trailer. Candy, okay, this what happened. It's body shaming allegations. Okay. Body shaming allegations. All right. So Tamika and Tasha, they basically not only are into it over this money scam or this allegations of fraud or theft, but when they had their tour, when they had their Lover and Friends performance in Vegas, Tamika and Candy had got locked out of the dressing room trailer or in the dressing trailer for over an hour. Tasha and Tiny, they were able to get dressed. They were dressed and waiting around. Tamika and Candy, they couldn't get dressed. But Tasha got impatient. I guess she was dressed and got tired of waiting. And she was like, deuces, y'all, I'm out of here. So she just left. And she left them. And Tamika was upset. Like, this is, you my sister. You're not just a group member, but you my sister and you left us. And then, of course, you left everyone else. And so they had got into like some argument. And I guess they have like this group text chat or whatnot. And so Tamika and her sister was going back and forth. And Tasha said, something, y'all kiss my ass or something like that. And so Tamika's like, if you had an ass to kiss. Now we know the rest of the ladies, they're pretty shapely. They got top, bottom, sides, back, up, down, all around. They pretty shapely, light sizes. And then we have Tasha. And I'm not body shaming Tasha, girl. I'm not body shaming, okay? Because I can stand to lose some weight in the gym and all that kind of shit. So I ain't body shaming. And I actually think you look really good. I really do. Shoot, if I had your body, I would not be complaining at all. But she don't have no backside. And so I guess she got offended. And she actually thought her sister was body shaming her for not having no big booty, for not being big booty Judy. And I'm like, how you get... Okay, come on now. Tiny thought it was hilarious. Tiny was cracking up. She was reading the message. She was like, oh, hell no. Tiny was cracking up. And when I heard them say it too, I was like, oh, that's funny. That's funny. So let me know, do y'all think she was dragging it out? I think she was dragging it. I don't think her sister intentionally meant to hurt her feelings like that. Like when somebody tell you kiss my ass, you ain't got no ass. You know what? Whatever. But anyway, y'all let me know if y'all think that Tasha was dragging. And if y'all haven't seen the show yet, when you watch the show and after you watch it and y'all see the episode or the scene, where they was discussing the text message. Make sure you come back here and put a comment under the video and let me know if you thought the sister Tasha was dragging, because I really think she was dragging. Some people, when they get mad and upset, you can just say the smallest anything. You can say it's hot outside and they get mad. Like, I want to hear about the goddamn sun, fuck the sun. But anyway, y'all. Again, thanks for tuning in today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you like and share the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Now, later on tonight, I am going to, I think I am. I don't know. Sislo's supposed to go live. She's out running errands right now, but she's also going to be going live, and I'll share her link on my community wall, because she's also going to review this show, but she's going to focus more on certain elements of the show. So I'm going to share her link, and hopefully you can join us over there, to support her and her channel. That Sislo Newsworthy Updates. But again, if she does go live, I will share her link. But other than that, I probably won't be back until tomorrow night, because of course we have our Friday night live, 9:00 p.m. Central Time. We do it almost every single Friday. And on Friday Night Live, we discuss everything from the hood to the White House and beyond. There's some stories that I want to discuss with you guys, some trending news. We also going to discuss a little bit more about Will Smith. The Pinkets. We're going to discuss the Pinkets and a lot of things that have came out over the last week. Well, I'll just say since the Chris Rock comedy show on Netflix, Selective Outrage. So it's been a lot of stuff, a lot of chatter, among like the celebs and everything, Black Twitter and everything. So we want to discuss more of that tomorrow night as well for our Friday Night Live. So hopefully you guys can be here for that. I think BMF comes on tomorrow night as well. So we probably will discuss BMF probably Sunday. We'll probably do a live Sunday for BMF, because Saturday, that's when I usually have my grandson and he spends the night. So tomorrow night we'll be here for Friday Night Live, and then Sunday night we'll do like a BMF review. And then also Sunday, SWV comes on. So we'll probably do a review of that Monday. So again, make sure you guys like and share and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can get the notifications when I'm going live. Every time I schedule a live or schedule a show, you'll get the notification. And then you can hit like the reminder option, so it will like remind you like 30 minutes in advance, that the show is going to come on. But other than that, you guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight and keeping me company. And stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant, and always, always, always keep it hood. Bye.